Welcome into this Hoosier Sports Night update. I'm Casey Richards. Coming into this year's men's Little 500, the Cutters team was looking to become only the third squad ever to win 3 straight titles. It looked to be an uphill battle, however, as the team was only returning 1 rider from last year's squad. Nonetheless, the Cutters were able to sprint away from the pack at the end to claim their 10th overall championship. Here's Nick LaGrange and Josh Greenberg with more from Bill Armstrong Stadium.
Indiana students and alumni alike showed up in droves Saturday afternoon for the 59th annual Little 500 race. Beautiful weather, chants from a raucous student crowd, and an intensely fought Little 500 race made for a great conclusion to the nation's greatest college weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 59th running of the men's Little 500.
This year's race featured many great teams as 10 of the 33 competing teams competed for the top spot in the end. However, this race belonged to one team and one team only, the Cutters. For the 3rd year in a row, the Cutters won the Little 500 race, their 10th overall. Afterwards, Cutters member Clayton Feldman had this to say.
People lined up to see the Titanic sinking on this team, and instead we came right back, and everybody thought that we wouldn't come back. Everybody said it was impossible. They said we only had 2 riders, but our rookies today, 1 rookie wrecked, and I'll tell you what, he did something that was a very veteran maneuver. He got back on the bike. We had less than half a lap down, and when you're in a situation like this, you can chase that back, but when you lose more than that, because your riders aren't on top of it, the race is over. So these guys might be rookies, but they don't ride like rookies.
From Bill Armstrong Stadium, I'm Nick LaGrange, Hoosier Sports Night.
Biggest part of Little 5 is its tradition. The tradition of Little 5 attracts its living legends, as well as those who keep the traditions going.
It's like my pilgrimage every year to come back. I mean, the race itself is terribly exciting. It's such a letdown afterwards, whether you win, lose, or whatever, because the whole experience is so wonderful that you're sorry it's over. It's sort of like the letdown after Christmas, and it's just something that it leaves an imprint on you that's with you for life. Frankly, I think anyone that rode in this thing today should be congratulated, regardless of how they finish.
It is so exciting to be here right now. I've never been to a Little 500. I'm a freshman here at IU, so it's so exciting to get to be such an important part. I don't want to say I'm important because I'm not riding, so I'm not that important, but I get to hand out the trophies, and it's an amazing experience. I'm so excited to be here right now. The second that #1 team hits the line, when they finish, when you see their stands go nuts, that is just amazing. Last night when Pi Phi won, their girls just went absolutely crazy, and that's just an amazing moment to know that everybody's behind these 4 girls or these 4 guys that are doing this race, and it's a really amazing moment.
Even the rule book is a part of the race's tradition.
Well, all the bikes are Schwinn bikes, and they're on the same gear. It's a single speed bike. It's got a coaster brake, so you just tap on it backwards. You can modify. You can put on a set of better wheels if you want.
The gears have to be a 46-18 a gear ratio. You have to have a 36-hole hub, front and rear with the wheel set. It can't be over 25 millimeters deep. You have to have a coaster brake hub. You can't have any sealed bearings on the bike and no carbon. Everything else you can change.
The Little 500 has built up a tradition lasting more than 5 decades, but it's the riders that keep the race going. In Bloomington, I'm Josh Greenberg, Hoosier Sports Night.
In the 2006 Women's Little 500, the Pi Beta Phi team finished dead last out of 33 teams. Coming into this year, things looked a lot brighter, however, as they featured a veteran team and one of the best individual riders in the field, junior Caroline Brown. In the end, Brown rode 70 out of 100 laps, including the last 10, leading her team to their first ever championship. Courtney, Cronin, and Ronan O'Shea have more.
The 2009 Women's Little 500 comes to a close, and finishing under an hour and 15 minutes, Pi Beta Phi wins their first championship in school history.
Shock right now. There was no talk about us being the team to do it, so we just rode a smart race. I mean, this is the first time Pi Phi's ever
done anything like close to this, so it's been amazing, you know, all the hard work that we've put in.
We're absolutely pleased. Our goal, I guess if you could say we had a goal, obviously it was first, but we got third last year, so it was an improvement upon third, and just keep on moving up.
The other top finishers in the race were Delta Sigma Pi in second and Kappa Delta in third. From Bill Armstrong Stadium, I'm Courtney Cronin, Hoosier Sports Night.
Race day here at the women's running of the Little 500, and of course most of the attention is placed on the bike riders themselves. But less than 10 laps into the race, there were already 3 major wrecks, making the work of the mechanics all that much more important.
Your responsibility is to get that bike back up and running as fast as possible.
I make sure the wheels are still in true. I make sure that the chain is tight enough, because a lot of times it'll stretch out and loosen up.
I check the tires, make sure the chain isn't any looser, make sure the wheels are still spinning straight, make sure the wheels aren't flat.
You look at the wheels, handlebars, pedals, saddle. That's about all there is on these Roadmasters. They're pretty simple.
And mechanics were certainly kept busy on Friday afternoon as riders battled 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts at the track.
The crosswinds cause riders to shift a little bit, which is what happened to our rider Kate when she went down, and the headwinds cause the pack to bunch up and allow people from the back to move forward. It kind of condenses things a little bit. So yeah, the wind certainly played a part in it.
I'd say the wind has a lot to do with it, because the gusts come up quick, and if you're not settled on your bike, that can take you by surprise. And if you don't stay relaxed, it makes it a lot more difficult to navigate with the wind.
But riders made adjustments, and the race remained mostly incident-free after the first 10 laps. In Bloomington, I'm Ronan O'Shea.
Indiana football head coach Bill Lynch made appearances at both 3, 2, and 1. Indiana head coach Bill Lynch made appearances at both races this past weekend. Before the women's race, I had a chance to catch up with Coach, and here's what he had to say.
The Indiana football season kicks off in about 4 months. That doesn't mean that head coach Bill Lynch couldn't take the time to enjoy some Little 500 festivities. Before the race, I had a chance to catch up with him, where he shared his thoughts about the race itself and the upcoming season.
I have so much respect for these kids that work so hard for this year round. You know, I know how hard our football players work, but watching both the men and women and how hard they train to get ready for this, got a lot of respect for them, and the weather turned out great.
Another reason for Lynch to attend events like this is to build a rapport with the student body and bring more fans out to the Rock.
We want to connect with the students. You know, I think so often we spend so much time out talking to donors and alums and you know, the heart and soul of a college, you know, football program are the students. And we certainly want them to come out in the fall and feel a part of our football program.
There will be many opportunities for big crowds next season, as the Hoosiers will host 3 primetime contests on the Big Ten Network against Eastern Kentucky, Illinois, and Ohio State.
Really, the Big Ten Network's taking care of us in a sense, in order to put you know, 2 big-time games with Ohio State and Illinois, having homecoming on Saturday night, and then our opener on Thursday night. That's a novelty that for Indiana. You know, it's really been big on campuses around the country, so we think it's going to be a big night for us here in Bloomington.
Debuting next season will also be the newly renovated Memorial Stadium, an asset that Coach Lynch is excited to have.
I think our fans are really going to enjoy it. I mean, you know, last year they saw it being built, but it's going to be, it's a new stadium. I mean, it's in the same location, but it's a new stadium. And then for our student athletes, inside it's amazing. New weight room and the meeting rooms and the technology.
With spring practice now officially over, Coach Lynch has high expectations for his team come fall.
I like this football team. You know, I think when you're the head football coach of a spring, anytime the offense does well, you worry about the defense. If the defense does well, you worry about the offense. So there's always, it's always somewhere in between. But in terms of attitude, I think the leadership we have in this group, I think it's got, they're going to work hard this summer when they're on their own, and we look forward to getting back with them in August.
The Hoosiers open up the season on September 3rd. Coming up after the break, we'll have the members of the Pi Beta Phi team in studio. You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned.